Okay, we are going to continue with multiplying polynomials. This is going to be part 2 of our video series. There are 3 parts in total to multiplying polynomials because there are 3 different types. And some get a little bit more challenging, so we had to break it up. So here we go. We will continue to use the FOIL method in order to multiply polynomials. Okay, so make sure you get that down. Make sure you have a lot of different colors when you're writing these down. Because especially with these, organization with color will really benefit you, and you will make less errors in the beginning if you have different colors that you're writing with. So let's get started. Here's an example. It says example 5 because we had 4 examples yesterday. This example looks a little bit different, or looks similar to yesterday because it has 2 binomials, 2 groups of 2 terms. The first binomial is 2x plus y. The second binomial is x plus 7y. They look different because now we have 2 different variables, but it doesn't change how you solve or how you simplify this expression. Okay, so let's get started. In our method that we have been using and we're going to continue to use, we're going to use the FOIL method. So the FOIL method says multiply the first terms. So 2x times x. Then we're going to multiply the outer terms, and that would be 2x times 7y. Then we're going to multiply the inner terms, and that would be y times x. And then we're going to multiply the last terms, and that would be y times 7y. If you're trying to write this down, why don't you wait until the end, where the screen is completely full, and just watch it. Then go back and write it down after you're done watching it. Okay? And try and mimic my words. Now what we're going to do, after we have our 4 groups now we're going to simplify those groups. So 2x times x would be 2x squared. 2x times 7y, you're going to multiply the 2 times the 7, which would give you 14, and then you have an x times a y. So how you're going to write that is you're going to write that as plus 14xy. You want to have the letters in alphabetical order, so x comes before y, so when you're doing the math, put the x before the y. In our red, we have y times x. Well, y times x is the same as x times y. So what we're going to do is we're going to write that so that it's uniform, and we're going to go plus xy. And then the last one, the orange or peach, is y times 7y. Well, we don't have any. We have a coefficient of 1 and a coefficient of 7, so 7, excuse me, and then y times y would be 7y squared. And now we're going to look for any like terms that we have. 2x squared, we don't have any like terms with that. We have a positive 14xy, and we have a red xy. So those are like terms. So we're going to combine them. And we get 2x squared plus 15xy plus 7y squared. And that is your final answer. And that's how you want to write the final answer. The x squared at the beginning, the y squared at the end, and the xy combo in the middle. Okay? So pause the computer, write that down. If you need to go back and watch the example again, I strongly recommend it. In the practice problem number 1, you have something that looks similar to your last example. So what I want you to do is I want you to try this one on your own. What I am going to do for you, though, is I'm going to tell you the method that we're going to use, and then I'm going to give you the answer. And here's the answer that you should get. If you can do the problem and get that answer, you're doing a great job. Okay, so let's give it a shot. I'm sure you can do it. I'm going to move on to the third slide, or the next practice problem. We have another practice problem right here. It's a little bit different from the previous 2, a little bit more challenging. On this one, I'm not going to give you the answer. So do this one. You can bring it in tomorrow, and we will go over it as a class. Okay? Now we're moving on to a different example. It says example 6. It says multiply the following polynomials, then simplify. So we have a binomial of x minus 3, a binomial of 2x plus 1, and then we are adding a binomial of x plus 3 to that product. So we're going to use the FOIL method, and we are going to multiply the first terms, so x times 2x, which would give us 2x squared. Then we're going to multiply the outer terms, which is x times a positive 1, which will be plus x. Then we're going to multiply the inner terms, which would be a negative 3 and a positive 2x, which would be minus 6x. Then we're going to multiply the last terms, a negative 3 and a positive 1, which would be minus 3. So we have FOILed the first two binomials. Now we are going to add the x. Well, we have to distribute the plus sign, so it would be plus x, and then distribute the plus sign again, which would be plus 3. And now we are going to take this and organize it a little bit. So we have a 2x squared. There are no other like terms with the 2x squared, so I'm going to rewrite 2x squared. Then we're going to look for another set of like terms. We have plus x, minus 6x, and plus x. So I'm going to rewrite them in order. Plus x, minus 6x, plus x. Then I'm going to look and I see that we have a negative 3 and a positive 3, so I'm going to write those in order. And now we have all of our terms neatly written in order. One thing I do notice is that the negative 3 and the positive 3 at the end, they're going to cancel out and make 0. So we can just cross them out, and that's kind of one reason why you do that. And we get 2x squared plus x minus 6x plus x would be 2x squared minus 4x. And that is your answer. Okay? So why don't you pause the computer, write that down, watch it again if you need to get some clarification. Here's another practice problem that looks similar to the example that you just did. Again, I'm going to do exactly what I did on the earlier problems. I'm going to tell you that we should FOIL, then you're going to add or subtract. One thing you want to be careful of is if you see that subtraction sign in between the second and the third binomial. In between the 3x minus 2 and the x plus 4, you have a subtraction sign there, so you're going to want to distribute the negative sign. But I will give you the answer, and the answer is 3x squared plus 9x minus 12. So let's see if you can, by FOILing and then simplifying, get that answer. If you can, that's a great job. Keep going. Okay? And here's our final practice problem that I want you to do, and likewise on the earlier ones, I did not give you the answer for this one, and I'm not going to give you the answer. So do this one, bring it into class tomorrow, and we can go over it. Okay? If you are uncertain about any of the examples or what we've done in this video, go back and watch it again. It usually takes about 5 or 10 times of seeing something before it makes sense. Take care and have a great night.